These niggas, man. All right, check it out. This is what we gonna do, man, because you know the IQs is low, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into. And actually, my IQ is low on this one, man, because I had to actually ask you this. This shit been all over the net for a minute, man. I'm just now catching up with it, and I don't really know two shits about it. But I had to ask you, what in the hell is ADOS? What the hell is that, man? What is that shit?
ADOS is American Descendants of Slaves.
Okay, what is this shit? What is this movement? Is it like a movement or something? What is it?
It's a movement of Black Americans in the diaspora in North America that are descendants of those people that came here to this country.
Okay.
They're declaring their identity independent of Africa, independent of anyone else. This is a movement that's saying, fuck everyone else, we're going to do black people in America. Their interest is primarily they're not interested in any type of alliance or cultural affiliations or cultural unions with Africans on the mother continent. They're not interested in any type of union with Africans in Asia or any place else. It's all about Africans in North America. American descendants of slaves in North America, flat out.
So
that's what they're interested in, nothing else. Not the Africans in the Caribbean, not the Jamaicans, not the Haitians, nobody. American descendants of slaves, period. That's what it's about.
Okay. Now, one of the sticking points of this group is reparations. Am I hearing this right?
Yes. Yeah.
How serious is this shit? I don't...
apparently it's serious because there's been some discussion about it.
All right.
There's been some discussion about it. Reparations for American descendants of slaves, or people that have, whose parents and forefathers endured chattel slavery and whatnot. So there has been some discussion about reparations, but as always, there hasn't been any type of concrete position on what form reparations will take. Some people have said, some type of tax exemption. Some people have said pour it into infrastructure in schools and education, university, collegiate educations, secondary, post-secondary educations, graduate degrees, that type thing. And some of them have said, give tax credits in businesses and so forth and so on. But it hasn't taken any type of concrete form as to how they would dispense it. So it's basically niggas kicking up dust, but nothing ain't gonna come out of that shit.
Well, let me ask you this, man. I think we kind of sort of covered this in past shows. We have referenced Dave Chappelle. Remember that skit when he talked about how black folks, what would happen if they got reparations? And niggas was buying big ass trucks full of like cool cigarettes or some shit like that. Yeah, I mean, I can actually see that shit, man. Once again, we're going back to the low IQs of most niggas. I'm about to get my Uncle Ruckus on this one, so niggas be warned, man. I'm about to go in, you know what I'm saying, on this Uncle Ruckus shit, man, because I don't think that, I don't think reparations is gonna help niggas at all. I really don't. I think that just since we are dealing with a ratchet society, which is the black society, which is a matriarchal society, what basically happens when we put on our cape and we save a bitch, man? You know what I'm saying? We might try and help a bitch out of a bind. We might, slide her some ends. We might cut her a break or some shit. It always seems to be just a big ass black hole. You know what I mean? It's like you forever saving a bitch. You forever trying to, feed her or funnel her some aid, some money, some something. But you can never save the bitch. She's always in dire straits. And I feel that black folks as a whole, it really doesn't matter how much money you give them. It doesn't matter how many times you put your cape on to save black folks as a whole. We always gonna be in dire straits due to the low IQ of these niggas out here, mate.
They said that the biggest merger, FUBU and KFC.
Yeah, that's shit like that.
8,000 record companies were founded in the last hour. Yeah. You don't turn these niggas loose in a consumer economy with that.
Shit, they haven't been trained to actually create wealth and create, money. You know what I mean? They've been brought up to basically spend money. Yeah, with consumers.
The government will have that shit right back within a matter of hours. Mm-hmm. It'll be the largest cash infusion in the history of the world. It'll be enough to pay down the goddamn federal debt. Mm-hmm. That's the bright side of it. It'll usher in a new golden age of spending. Mm-hmm. The Fed will have to raise interest rates in order to decrease the amount of money, the money supply that's in rotation. That's how much damage niggas will do if you get him that kind of money.
But see, that's why I don't understand why white society just don't go ahead and give the reparations or give the money, because they gotta know niggas is just gonna spend it with white folks and give it right back.
Because the thing is, you have to understand the way this country was set up.
Right.
There's an excellent book by the late Dr. Howard Zinn, called A People's History of the United States.
Okay.
If you read that shit, it's really some dark and depressing shit. And you begin to understand that when the institution of chattel slavery and its offshoots in terms of the sharecropping system, in terms of in terms of the ghetto or the hood, the system was created in order to use niggas as the battery, the fuel, the food source.
Right.
You understand? Mm-hmm. And then when you erect a type of philosophy that says that these people have to be the food system, they have to be the battery because they are an inferior approximation of humanity. You can't turn around and put those people in a position to be superior when you've been lying to white folks for the past 300 or 400 years saying that they're superior. And see, anytime you give white folks something, it's been proven. Anytime you give niggas something and don't give it to white folks will lose their minds. You'll have a civil war. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Right.
You'll have the purge in this motherfucker for real. You have a breakdown of law and order. That's why they really don't want, this society really doesn't want black people with any type of solid, independent economic foundation, because it destroys the lie of white supremacy. So then they got to go back to Billy Bob or go back to Jeff. And Jeff was like, wait a minute, I thought you said they were niggas. I thought you said that they were stupid and inferior. And I thought you said we were supposed to lord over them. I thought they were supposed to be hewers of wood and drawers of water. I thought they were supposed to be our servants. Now they are our masters. You understand? That's the reason why after the Civil War, they passed an executive order to remove all of the arms, or to remove the guns from the hands of those Union soldiers, because they were afraid that those people were going to engage in warfare, engage in guerrilla warfare, and really earn their freedom. So the first thing they did was disarm them. Because if you allow black people to escape from this informal caste system, economic caste system, to where you allow them to get just enough money, but not too much to where they can be independent. You see, they can't explain that to Jeff. Mm-hmm. And then they have to go back to Jeff and say, well, we lied to you so that we could steal from you too. That was a lie we told you so that you would fight him so that we could steal from both of y'all. And then you'll really have revolution.
Well, this is my thing, man. All the socioeconomic indicators dictate if you did give black folks an inordinate amount of money, they did open businesses, black folks wouldn't patronize it anyway. So that would be a waste of goddamn money. You know what I'm saying? Everything that black folks would do with that money, it would, as far as I'm concerned, it would come to no avail, because niggas don't support each other. Niggas ain't trying to break bread with each other. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really understand this concept of how we could escape the financial bondage of the white man if we was giving reparations, because niggas ain't going to support each other anyway, even if we did get that money and open up businesses.
I agree, but they can't afford to make that choice. Right. They can't take that chance. Because again, if you go back, there's a documentary called Eyes on the Prize.
Right.
Go back and look at what happened when they passed the Civil Rights legislation, the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Mm-hmm. Go back and look at what happened when they passed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Even though it enfranchised or enfranchise poor white people.
Mm-hmm.
The Voting Rights Act also helped poor white people, quiet as it's kept. But the majority didn't see that it helped the poor white people. All they know was that the government gave niggas something. And they lost their minds. And there was a huge white backlash after that legislation came out. There was this huge white backlash against the black community, against black people. That's why Huey Newton and Bobby Seale said, well, wait a minute. This nonviolent shit ain't working. Yeah, it got this legislation put on the books, but these people seem to be more out of pocket. These people seem to be out of pocket now more than ever. The police department is recruiting these southern redneck dudes from Oklahoma, Louisiana, Alabama, Texas, Arkansas, and Tennessee to come to California, to come to Harlem, to come to Detroit, to come to Cleveland, to come to Baltimore. The violence against black people is increasing. Well, that violence was increasing because white people thought that black people were getting something that they didn't already have. You understand?
Yeah.
And the way the elite saw it, the way the people that run this society saw it, they saw that they were one step away from the dissolution. They were one state away from the country falling. It was Attorney General John Mitchell under the Nixon administration that said that this country is going so far to the right that you're not going to recognize it. So they went right to work with all these right-wing foundations and think tanks to try to change the consciousness of the American people in order to swerve it back to where they wanted it to be, to where it is right now. They were just that concerned. So if you give these Negroes legislation that they don't even use,
right,
that you turn around and take from them, you give them a little bit, and you see this is how you could see this type of rebellion is going to come. Well, what would happen if we gave them the means to be totally independent? Yeah, them stupid niggas gonna give it back to us. But what are the white people gonna say? What are our hired henchmen gonna say? What is our middle management people gonna say when they come to us and say, well, why you giving to them and not us? Mm-hmm. Them niggas don't deserve anything. They've had affirmative action. They've had this. They've had that program, and they haven't taken advantage of it. What about me? I'm busting my fingers to the bone, trying to work every day, and I don't have enough money to pay for health care. I don't have enough money to send my children to college. I barely have enough money to pay my bills. Why are you giving these niggas anything?
Okay.
You see? They can't afford to take that chance, because if they did, the white people who were in their service or who have been their hired guns might turn on them. You remember Ruby Ridge when they got, what was his name? Oh, the motherfucker Ruby Ridge. Randy Weaver. He went to, for the while, the white separatist group. He was the darling of the white separatists, the white supremacist group. He sued the federal government and won.
Yeah.
And won $1 million settlement. And so when they thought they'd get him in and he was going to be the poster boy, for the white militia and white supremacist militia, he got up there and he said these words. He said, I agree that the government is out of control. I agree that the government must be checked. I agree it has become abusable to their civil liberties. I agree that they're trampling on simple, basic constitutional protections. But all that shit about hating black people, I'm not hating nobody for the color of their skin. See, when he said that was dangerous.
Okay.
Because now he can't be controlled like that no more. When he's saying, I agree that there's a problem with the government, but I'm no longer going to look at these little broke niggas in the projects. Can't do that. Okay. Same thing happened with Bo Gritz. Bo Gritz was the nigga. He is the inspiration for the character Hannibal Smith in the A-Team. Okay. It's based on Gritz.
All right.
And as long as Gritz was talking about a militia movement and a race war, he was cool. But when Gritz said, wait a minute, why is the Central Intelligence Agency pumping drugs in the United States? See, niggas wasn't the first people to say that. Right. Gritz was saying that way back in 1989.
Right.
He was saying, what is this shit the Central Intelligence Agency is doing? What is this shit our government is doing by dealing with these drug dealers in South America? What is this shit the DEA is doing? Why is the CIA allowing these pipelines to go on? And then when that shit happened, they gave Bo Gritz, next thing you know, he caught a case.
Uh-huh.
You understand?
Yeah.
So you don't want that nigga becoming awakened. You don't want him leading the masses against you. So no, they're not going to take that chance. Because Gritz was saying, well, why am I mad at niggas getting high, but I'm not mad at the people that's giving the niggas the shit to get high.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So when he started saying that, when he said, well, I'm not gonna worry about this nigga, I'm worried about the shit that the government is doing. I'm worried about this shit that the DEA and the Central Intelligence Agency is doing. It's the government that's the problem, not the niggas. That's a problem, because now you're talking about revolution. They're not going to risk that. They done killed too many people. They have murdered and assassinated too many people to get this kind of power and control. They're not going to chance that control by giving niggas reparations. It's not going to happen.
Okay. Well, I'm just going record. Just, it'd be nice if there was some sort of reparations given to descendants of slaves and whatnot, man. But I know that niggas is gonna buy stupid shit. They're gonna waste the money. And the brothers and sisters that do have a good head on their shoulders and they do open up businesses, those businesses will die on the vine because niggas will not patronize them. So it's a waste. It's a lost fucking cause, man. That's just my opinion.
You flea-bitten mongrel horde niggas heard the Fat Mac. He didn't say that you weren't entitled to, because you know it's always a nigga that don't listen.
Right.
It's always a nigga that don't listen.
Right.
He didn't say that reparations wasn't warranted. He didn't say that you shouldn't get it. He said that when you get it, you ain't gonna do nothing but fuck it up. That's what he's saying. He's saying you entitled to it. You should have it, but if you get it, you gonna fuck it up. That's what he's saying.
Niggas gonna be buying weed and rims, nigga. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
right. They ain't gonna do nothing but make the motherfuckers that make the spinning rims the biggest Fortune 500 company on the goddamn list.
Even though spinning rims is out of style, this shit, they gonna bring them back in style, boy. Yeah, niggas is gonna fuck it up, man. Niggas got a talent for fucking shit up. It's just like, god damn, you just got $1 million and you're fucking it off. You ain't doing shit with it, huh? All right, then. Yeah, you know. Yeah, it's the hood rap mentality, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Every time me and you have stepped in to try and save a bitch, you know what I mean? That sort of mentality has been transferred to the black community as a whole. You know what I mean? Males and females alike. And it's just a sad case, man, when you just can't seem to save niggas, man.
I'll tell you what Ali said. Ali said you could take niggas from the ghetto and put them in paradise. Mm-hmm. And in 24 hours, they'll turn paradise into the ghetto overnight.
Man, he cooning like that?
Yeah, he cooning like that.
Oh, man, Ali. Oh, tell me it ain't so. So he on some Uncle Ruckus shit too, huh?
On some Uncle Ruckus shit too?
Oh, well, we in good company then, Tony.
In good company, yeah.
Oh, okay.
People from the ghetto and put them in paradise, and overnight, in 24 hours, they'll turn paradise into the ghetto. The slum is in the people.
Oh, shit, man. And you know, this is coming from a smut peddler, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bruh, my feet, man, are just firmly planted in heaven and hell, man. You know what I mean? I can see everything from a bird's eye view, man. You know what I mean? So I'm not sitting up here like, I know it may seem like I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess the word would be bougie. You know what I mean? But yet still, I mean, I've been the bad guy and I've been the good guy. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm hot and I'm cold. I'm light and I'm dark and I see shit for what it is, man. Not for what the fuck I want it to be. And niggas as a whole is fucked up. They seem to lack the intelligence to just do the simple shit right. And you can't really get around that shit because you just look at us as a whole and, you know, look at our state, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got these broads out here doing all sorts of ratchet, fucked up shit, man. Just destroying, I mean, purposely, the black community, man. You know what I mean? With their antics, man, and how they choose their mates and how they raise the children and shit, man. You know, it's like, okay. You know, they really think that they doing a good job by raising these children, man. That should bring me to the next topic. You know what I mean? Since we're talking about the antics of the broads, man. Even though this female may not qualify per se, because I don't even think I think she qualifies herself as black now since she's a rapper. You know what I mean? But I think genetically, you know, genetics-wise, she's like, I don't know, Mexican, Latina, whatever, shit. this Cardi B broad, man. Have you been following this Cardi B chick, man, about the shenanigans that she been talking about how she be drugging motherfuckers and raping them and shit. Have you heard this shit? Tony. Oh, nigga.